For over 3 decades, the Wrangler name has been an American icon across the globe. Whether you're an enthusiast or just an ordinary Joe, there's probably a good chance that you knew somebody or you yourself have yearned after this incredibly iconic adventure vehicle. However, what if you wanted the Wrangler but needed the utility of a pickup truck? Well, that's something that Jeep has never really offered in the past. In fact, it's been almost 27 years since we've seen an actual pickup truck from Jeep. And today, they've brought me out to just outside of Sacramento, California, where it's been actually raining here. As you can see, there's lots of mud everywhere, to test out this all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Jeep says it's the most off-road capable pickup truck, mid-size pickup truck in the segment. But are their claims true? That's what we're here to find out. So as you can see, it's sunny and it's stopped raining, which is the typical weather here in California. I've been here for a couple of days and it's been raining non-stop, and that's the reason why the Jeep is all muddy, because the off-road trail that they had set up is muddy, and it's one of the reasons why I'm wearing one of these ridiculous boot covers, because I'm prissy like that and I'm feeling getting my shoes all dirty. But let's talk about the exterior of the Jeep, because obviously that's what you guys are here to see. This particular one is the Rubicon model. Jeep will actually launch the Gladiator with 4 trims. There's the base Sport, Sport S, the Overland, which is kind of like the Sahara trim, and the off-road oriented Rubicon. From the front fascia, it looks exactly like a Wrangler. In fact, if you guys hear me accidentally call this thing a Wrangler, please leave it in the comments below, because I'm probably going to do that. It has all the traditional styling elements of the Wrangler here on the Gladiator. You have the traditional 7-slot grille. But my tester here has these upgraded full LED headlights with LED low and high beams, an LED daytime running light, and LED turn signals, which are echoed into the fender. The Rubicon model is definitely the one to get in terms of the ruggedness. I love the fact that it has its own unique front end. It has bigger 33-inch tall tires and the steel bumper group. This is actually a $1,500 option on the Wrangler. Not sure how expensive it is on the Gladiator, but as you can see here, it's got space where you could add an accessory winch to the vehicle, and the steel bumpers also give it a much more capable look, where you're not going to be worried about damaging this thing too much on the track. You can also, or on the off-road course, you can also change the color of the fenders. This one has the body colored fenders, as you can see. I think the standard arrangement is just the black fenders. It definitely gives the Gladiator a much more cleaner look with the body colored fenders. One new option that Jeep added for the Gladiator is that off-road camera. It's a forward-facing camera that only comes on the Rubicon. It basically shows you everything that's in front of the vehicle when you're off-roading, and it even has a washer right there so you can clean off the lens, because as you guys know, when you're off-roading, you're going to get the vehicle pretty dirty. Now, in terms of the side profile here, you can see this is a big vehicle. She's a big girl. This thing roughly is around 31 inches longer than the Wrangler Unlimited. This is basically just a Wrangler Unlimited from the front fascia all the way up to the end of the rear cab. And then Jeep also extended the wheelbase by about 19.4 inches at 137.8 inches long in the wheelbase and 219 inches long overall. This is longer than something like the crew cab version of the Toyota Tacoma with the shorter bed, about 8 inches shorter versus the crew cab long bed. So Jeep only offers it in this one configuration to make things pretty simplified. I think it's a good idea. I think the regular cab version, a 2-door, wouldn't have done particularly well, and I'll show you guys why when we get into the back seat. Now, in terms of the wheels, love what Jeep gives you on the Rubicon. These are 33-inch tall all-terrain tires on 17-inch wheels with the black finish. These are an optional $900 wheel. If you guys go for the base sport model or the Overland, you kind of have a weaker looking wheel with like an all-season road tire. It just doesn't look as good. Now, all the Gladiators will actually have 11 inches of ground clearance. It's a little bit more than what you get on the Wrangler. And Jeep says this vehicle is capable of fording up to 30 inches of water, so 2.5 feet of water, which makes it one of the best in class. Jeep also says it has the best approach and departure angles in the class. And in terms of the suspension, you still have the same solid axles front and rear. The front suspension hasn't been changed from the regular Wrangler. The rear suspension has been updated. It's been taken basically from the Ram 1500. It's the 5-link coil spring setup. Still a solid axle, but Jeep basically gave it a suspension from the Ram to give this thing the ability to carry heavy loads, which I'll talk about in the back of the bed. Fox shocks are also included. And if you guys think this isn't tall enough, Mopar will actually sell you a 2-inch lift kit on this vehicle for $1,500. So again, that's something to consider. We'll make this thing look even more badass. Now at the rear of the truck, you can see this is definitely an angle of the Gladiator that some of you have voiced you didn't really like the way it looked. It definitely has a unique and awkward look from certain angles. I mean, sometimes I look at it as a Wrangler, and then other times I see like this weird vehicle. Now the taillights, they're basically the same as what you get on the regular Wrangler. They're an LED taillight. These are optional. They're part of the LED headlight and taillight combination. The blind spot sensor is located right here in the taillight, which again, nicely integrated. Jeep had to put it there because this vehicle is going to be off-roading. And in terms of the rear, you have just a composite bumper. The steel bumper is only in the front. You do have 2 tow hooks in the back, which you get on the Rubicon models. The Overland and Sport will just have 1 tow hook on the side. There's some nicely integrated parking sensors, and then as you can see here, no visible exhaust tips. I wasn't expecting that. That would just get in the way in terms of your off-road capability. Now, backup camera is standard, and in case you guys forgot, this is a Jeep. There's a gigantic Jeep badge here that could be a little bit bigger. It's not quite as big as my head. If you guys remember the Ram Rebel, that has an even bigger Ram logo. Now, the tailgate is damped, which is nice, and Jeep actually says you can open it, or it'll fold down. It'll stop in another position if you kind of angle this wire right here, where you can kind of leave it slightly open and closed. But if you want to open it entirely, the bed liner that this one has is optional. It definitely makes the vehicle a little bit more durable. And I really like this tonneau cover that comes with the car. You just pull this little strap here, and that will kind of unlock it. And Jeep basically allows you to roll the tonneau cover completely. And then when you get to the end here, you have these little straps where you can literally just strap it into little strap right here, and it allows you to basically use Velcro, and it'll keep the tonneau cover there. Now, when you look at the bed and see the size of it, it's a 5-foot bed. It's the only size you can get on the Wrangler. Some competitors offer a 6-foot bed. It's actually a really good sized bed. It looks very narrow and shallow when you look at it from the outside, but looking at it from the inside, I like the spray-in bed liner with the Jeep, logo, the grille kind of echoed there on the inside. And Jeep also included 4 tie-down hooks back here. You have LED lighting. Love the bed liner. So I imagine a lot of you are probably going to add maybe a bed extender. It's going to definitely make this bed even more useful, but really like what Jeep did with the bed. It's not just a useless pickup truck bed. They actually made it very functional now. But one thing about the Gladiator, it's the only pickup truck on the market that offers a convertible, or that is a convertible. Now this one, as you can see, has the soft top. The window back here is plastic, and that basically comes with the soft top model. They also offer the hard top, which gives you a glass rear window that slides, and it also has rear defoggers, which is nice. That power retractable soft top is not available on this vehicle that you can get on the Wrangler for like $4,000. Now, to open the soft top here, there's 2 latches just like on the Wrangler, and you basically undo the latch, and my short ass is probably gonna have trouble opening this from here. But as you can see, it actually is assisted with hydraulics. So you just kind of fold it over and plop it down. And that's actually the final position that you leave it in when you want to open the bed or open the roof. Jeep says that it will stay down in this position because I guess if you're going to be driving forward, the wind's going to be going this way. And it really lets in a lot of light. You can still fold down the windshield. You can still take off the doors. This is probably the coolest aspect of the Gladiator, and I suspect a lot of people who never thought they wanted a pickup truck will be buying this vehicle just for that feature alone. So for the inside of the 2020 Gladiator, I've switched over to the Overland trim because I want to show you guys a different interior color that only comes on this trim level, I believe. It's like a brown interior. For the back seat, I'll show you guys the rear seat of the Rubicon because it's the soft top. This one, as you can see, is the hard top. But first things first, I want to show you guys the key fob. Now, this is the Intelligent Access Smart Key system that I showed you on the Wrangler. You can see it's basically the same key. It has a little switchblade here, which is nice. Not sure why it's not really necessary because it has Intelligent Access Key, but it does come with a remote start. Just double tap that button here. And then the vehicle will start right up for you. If you want to shut the vehicle off, you can just double tap the button again, and that will shut off the vehicle for you. Now, as you approach the door handle of the Wrangler, you can see this one's all covered in mud. There's a little button here on the outside of the handle. Just touch that button, it'll lock the doors. To unlock it, there's actually a sensor on the back of this plastic handle, and that will unlock the door for you. Now, the inside of this particular Overland trim, you can see it's got a nice Overland badge embroidered in the seat back. It's got like a saddle brown interior, whereas the Rubicon comes with the black with the red stitching, which is again nice, but I do like the kind of more luxury theme that Jeep gives you with the Overland model. You can see the seats were very much improved in the Wrangler for this all new generation, and they're basically the same seats. They're very soft and supported. These are heated leather seats. Manual adjustment though, you can see it's got a manual height, it's got a lumbar adjustment, and then your recline is this little strap here. Don't expect to find power seats, it's not available. And then the door panels here, you can see the doors, they still come off, which is good. They're kind of held with that little strap that keeps them from going too far out, but they are an aluminum door. They have a nice little handle here when you guys want to take off the doors, and the materials are also soft touch. Now, this particular one has a running board, which is nice because my short ass needs help getting into this thing. But there's a nice grab handle right here, so when you finally lift yourself up, you can see this gives you a nice commanding view of the road, just like the Wrangler. Now, shutting the door, it definitely doesn't sound all that solid. It has that traditional Jeep noise because the doors, again, are designed to come off, but a lot of people who own Jeeps or who have owned Wranglers, they're gonna find that noise to be very familiar sounding. Now, as I said, push button start's included on this trim. Put your foot on the brake, push the button here to fire up the engine. Now you can see the interior is basically just a carryover from what you get in the new Wrangler. The gauges, they look the same. The infotainment system is the same. The 3.6 liter V6 doesn't let you rev it up very high, but we'll go into the test drive later on. It's a very good sounding engine. I was really pleased with it in the Wrangler. Now, looking at the rest of this interior, I'm very impressed to see the fact that Jeep has included genuine leather and stitching on the dashboard here. Love the fact that it's got genuine leather on the grab handle here, on the airbag cover, on this upper portion of the dash, which is great. The rest of the interior here, you can see soft touch on the door panels, which is also nice. The steering wheel has a nice fat rim. It's leather wrapped. It has really good quality leather. It also has steering wheel controls on the back. No paddle shifters, but there's actual real metal trim on this vehicle, which is really nice. The armrest here is nice and padded. You have a nice little grab handle area over here. The infotainment system, you can see this is the upgraded 8.4-inch display. It does come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is nice. As you can see, I've got the Apple CarPlay pulled up right there. This is an optional system. I believe it's like $1,200 if you guys go for this in the Wrangler. I don't have the full pricing for the Gladiator yet with this option cost, but as you can see, with very little signal out here, it's having trouble pulling up the GPS display. Thankfully, my tester has embedded navigation. You can see there's the Uconnect head unit infotainment system. I believe this is like the 4th generation. This is the largest screen you can get, which looks good. Chrysler FCA has a 12-inch display in the Ram, but it's not available, as you can see, in this vehicle. Now, going back to the apps, you can see all these apps are basically customizable. I've shown you guys this infotainment system before. For example, if I wanted to move this over here, I can just go here and move the passenger heat over there. I can also go here and move the driver heat over here. So again, it's very cool, very customizable. It is very snappy. It works very well. A lot of you are going to find a lot to like. When you go to media here, you can see XM radio is right there. All your presets are up here from what FCA does. It's all really nice, all looks great. The backup camera, even when you put the vehicle into reverse, has really nice resolution. Big screen, it has parking sensors in the rear, as you can see. It also has trajectory, which is great. And then the front camera, which this one does not have because it's the Overland model. Basically, if you can go into your apps, you can go to like the off-road pages. That's where we'll show you that. This one, again, doesn't have it. I'll have to show you guys that in a different part of the video. But the infotainment system here works great, really easy to use. Now, down here you can see the climate controls haven't really changed. You have 3 level heated seats, heated steering wheel. You have your audio switches here, 3 big knobs for your volume, your tuning, and then your temperature for the fan speed control. Down here you can see your power window controls are down here. It's one touch down for both front windows, not one touch up. I really wish Jeep had made it one touch up as well. The back aren't even automatic one touch. Power window controls are here because the doors, again, come off. This particular one is missing the red switch here to disconnect the sway bars and to engage in off-road plus mode, which again allows you to basically tailor the driving modes here to like a sand or a rock mode when you guys have it on 4 low or 4 high. Now, all Wranglers will come with 4-wheel drive. As you can see, it's got this really nice cable linkage style lever to actually turn on the 4-wheel drive system and off. You can see 2 high is over here. 4 high, you basically shove it all the way back. There's a little display over here that shows you what position you're in. And then if you want to go to neutral, you have to come back all the way down to N and have the vehicle in neutral as well, and then come all the way back to 4 low, which again, you have to really manhandle this little shifter. It's an actual cable linkage, so don't be afraid to move this thing with some force to get it basically to go back into 2-wheel drive or 4 high. Now, traditional manual parking brake, which is nice. You have two cup holders here, which Jeep says they specifically designed so you can hold your phone in there, because this is where people probably put their phones nowadays anyways. You put it in the actual cup holders. And then the seats, very much a huge improvement over the old Wrangler seats. You have a soft headrest here. They're very comfortable. They're covered in this high quality leather, which I really like. And then you have a nice padded armrest right here in the center console, which again, all your tools are in here. If you want to take off the windshield, if you want to take off the rest of the top, and they all kind of neatly store over here. Jeep also gives you a clever storage solution in the back under the seats where you can put all the bolts. Another USB port is down there, pretty deep center console area, in addition to more USB ports over there. I mean, this interior really, it doesn't look like it's worth, the amount of money that Jeep is charging for this truck, but it's a huge improvement. It's full of good technology. It's got, a really nice rear view mirror here that's the frameless style. You do have adaptive cruise control in this vehicle, but no active lane keep assist. It does have forward emergency braking and stuff like that. So those are features that were kind of unheard of in the Wrangler in the past, but as you can see here, Jeep has now included it, especially if you guys go for the top trims. Now, the glove compartment, it's pretty small. It's about half the size of what I expected it to be. It's damped but not lined with felt, like the grab handle here. Surprised it doesn't have that since 1941 badge there like you get in the other Jeeps, but overall, very impressed with this interior. I think a lot of you are going to like what the top of the line models offer you, especially if you're looking for good tech. Now, because the Gladiator only comes in a 4-door crew cab configuration, the back seat space here is actually pretty good compared to the rivals. Typically in this segment, it's very cramped, which I'll talk about the space in just a minute, but first Jeep wanted to show off that this vehicle does have some functionality with the rear seat. You can do a few things that you can't in the Wrangler. The seat, for example, will flip up to give you like some storage over here. This area here is completely open in this particular model, but they do offer multiple storage options where you can kind of actually split this in half. You can put like a cooler under here and whatnot. So really good functionality. And you can literally do this with one hand. You just literally lift it up and then just plop it down whenever you want it to go back down. You can also fold the seat down as well. And when you fold it down, it gives you a nice flat area here, a little bit of storage behind the seats. Now, this particular one is missing the Bluetooth speaker. There's actually a portable Bluetooth speaker that comes out that's rechargeable. It just pairs with your phone. Think of it as one of those little portable sound speakers you can buy for, a couple $100. Jeep actually gives it to you on some models. This particular one doesn't have it, but it hides under there and it constantly will charge whenever you have it left in the vehicle. Now, getting into the rear, you can see the space back here is actually very surprising, because the last Tacoma that I had definitely didn't have as much space in the back seat as this vehicle. Jeep actually rates the legroom back here at 38.7 inches. That is roughly about 3 inches more than what you get in the Tacoma, 2 inches more than what you get in the Ridgeline, which is typically the biggest in the mid-size truck segment. So a lot of legroom here. You can actually fit full-size adults back here. So that's one of the benefits. This actually has the biggest back seat in the mid-size pickup truck segment. You even have features like a fold-down armrest that comes down with 2 cup holders. Now, it is missing things like heated rear seats. I wasn't really expecting that, but Jeep did give you some rear seat vents. You have your power window controls there. You have a power outlet, and then you have a USB-C. Actually, there's 4 USB ports in there, so that's very unexpected. And then as you can see with the roof up, all this light that comes in, nothing else offers this. So if you guys want the hardtop, you can put the hardtop in, or if you want the soft top, take everything off, take off the doors, and you can go for an adventure with your friends. That's one of the biggest selling features of the Gladiator. I think this is what's going to be really selling a lot of people if they're in the market for a unique truck like this. So under the hood of the Gladiator, just like the Wrangler, you have to undo these 2 latches at the front of the vehicle, so any random stranger could come and just open up your hood. And then when you want to open the hood, there's a little latch that you kind of have to move over to the left. This is the standard engine. It's the company's 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. It has start-stop technology. It does not have direct injection though, which surprised me, just port injected. It makes 285 horsepower, which is good, and 260 pound-feet of torque. That torque number is surprisingly low. I have driven this powertrain in a two-door Wrangler Sport, so I'll be curious to know how this feels in the Gladiator because this weighs roughly about 350 pounds more than a similarly equipped Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon. Now, you can take your pick between a 6-speed manual, which is actually the standard transmission, or an 8-speed automatic from ZF. That's a $2,000 option that my tester has. I imagine a lot of you are probably going to be getting the automatic anyways. And fuel economy is actually not that bad. It only dropped about 1 mpg versus the Wrangler. It's rated at 16 in the city, 23 on the highway with the manual. This one being the automatic is rated at 17 in the city, 22 on the highway. You can actually use regular gas in this vehicle. Now, unlike the Wrangler, Jeep does not offer the 2-liter Turbo 4 that they offer in that vehicle. Instead, next year in 2020, a diesel, a 3-liter V6 turbo diesel will be coming, which will make 260 horsepower and a stump-pulling 442 pound-feet of torque. That engine will only be mated to an 8-speed automatic, which we'll have to drive at a later date. Now, obviously, this being a truck, you're probably wondering how much does it tow? Jeep says it has a best-in-class tow rating of 7,650 pounds, which is surprising with their claim of that because the Colorado with the diesel in two-wheel drive form, albeit, tows about 7,700 pounds. So technically it's not the best, but if you're gonna say it's the best four-wheel drive towing capability, it is because the the Gladiator comes standard with four-wheel drive, which is usually a pricey option for a lot of the competitors. Now, normally this is when I'd say let's get it out on the road and see how it performs, which we will do, but since we're on this off-road muddy trail, let's get it out on the dirt and see how this performs first. So now we're going out into the off-road course. It's been raining here, as I said, for the past couple of days, so it's very muddy. Now, this off-road course is something that Jeep basically set up. They told us there's going to be a lot of rocks, a lot of rut, a lot of mud, a lot of areas where it's going to test the ground clearance, the arch suspension, the approach and departure angles. I switched over to this Rubicon model. This one it's basically all stock, but it's got those 33-inch tall tires, and we're just going to kind of follow the trail here. Now, first things first, this vehicle definitely feels longer than a Wrangler, the last one that I drove, but it doesn't feel that much longer. Jeep didn't actually make it any wider, which is good. Here we go, we're going into our first little mud pit here.
You're going to trailer your trailer hitch.
Ooh.
There it was.
So that's where you can feel that this car has a fat ass and it's a lot longer because that trailer hitch just dragged when you went there. So it's got good in approach departure angles, but I don't know if it's that good because, again, this vehicle is very long. But hey, it's a Jeep. It can handle the abuse, right?
My Type R wouldn't have got through there.
Whatever. So as you can see, this off-road course is literally on this like farm where there's cows wandering around and
shitting everywhere.
Yes, and there was a lot of cow maneuver everywhere, but I have the vehicle in 4 high right now, and that's all it is. The stability control is turned off. The sway bars are disconnected, and I also have it in the off-road plus mode, which is, again, kind of like an off-road... It's kind of like an off-road driving mode where you can switch between either like a sand or a rock mode. If it's in 4 high, it's kind of like a sand mode, or if it's in 4 low, it's kind of like a rock mode.
There's a cow blocking the path over there. This is like Jurassic Park, but with cows.
Yes. The Rubicon model gives you these off-road pages in the infotainment system, which you didn't get on the Sahara or the Overland models. And you can see it shows where the transfer case is in, which 4-wheel drive system it's in, whether it's in the front axle's been unlocked or... So going into the first kind of challenging part of this little course, I put it into 4 low. The sway bars are still disconnected. The front and rear diffs are locked, or I'm sorry, they're unlocked. But basically, they've set up these boulders, and I'm going to drive right through them. We'll see how this thing does. Okay, she's telling me to turn to the right slightly. Straighten out. All right, now I'm going to go all the way to the left here. Wow, and this Jeep literally makes it so easy to get through here. Haven't heard anything scrape, luckily. Okay, and then the 4-low system here, the 4-wheel drive system is really good. I'm impressed. It just went through that like it was nothing. I mean, the vehicle is big. You have to be careful and watch where the sides are and whatnot. But it made it through there like it was nothing. I'm impressed. So now we're going through another part of the rock crawling tests, and they told me to basically unlock the front and rear, lock the front and rear lockers. So I locked the front and rear diffs of this thing, and we're gonna see if this gets through this. I've probably never gone through something that's this challenging before and in a vehicle that's this big, so we'll see. So I've got a spotter out there kind of helping me. Okay, I'm literally getting sideways here, but the fact that the sway bars are disconnected allows for an insane amount of wheel articulation. So it was a little dramatic, but it went through that pretty easily. I got a little scared. The truck felt like it was going to tip over, but not as bad as I thought it would be. All right, so those are some pretty big rocks. Thank God for big all-terrain tires, because you're going to need the ground clearance and the meaty tires to get through this. And the thing about off-roading is it's slow. You want to go very slow, which is why I have it in 4 low right now. Whew. Okay. So, wow. Jeez. So far I haven't scraped anything, but that was definitely a little nerve-wracking. So now we're going to go through another challenging area here. I've got my spotter thankfully helping me. Still in 4 low with the sway bars disconnected and the lockers locked.
Sweet Jesus.
Okay, now we're going to go through a little mud pit here, which you may want to close your window.
I want to get a good shot of it.
Okay, don't close your window.
Okay. It's a mistake. Oh, it's a mistake.
Oh, that was nothing. This thing makes it so easy. Oh, that off-road camera in the front would have been nice, but this one is missing the option for it, annoyingly. So yeah, the Gladiator definitely feels big. I mean, this would obviously be easier in a 2-door Wrangler Rubicon, but even though this thing is so much bigger, I mean, it's almost 5 feet longer than a 2-door Wrangler. You know, it's got all the off-road capability. It's got the ground clearance. It's got the 4-wheel drive system. It's got the skid plates. It's got the tires. You can still do it. You just got to get used to how long this thing is. This suspension just soaks up the bumps on these off-road trails. It's incredible. The ride is so smooth.
Okay.
I got the wheel locked all the way.
Don't scrape the side.
All right, the rear locker is now just locked. The front's been unlocked. So this is where I could really use the camera off-road.
You can barely see the spotter.
I can't even see the spotter, honestly.
I can't see the spotter. He's saying go. He's saying go. He's saying go. He's saying go. He's saying turn right.
Okay.
Okay, he's saying you can see him again.
Okay.
Literally nothing. What the hell?
This camera would have been very useful. I wish I had it on this one. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow is the correct word to describe what's happening right now. Holy mother of goodness.
This wouldn't be a Jeep program if I couldn't, if it didn't make you a little, make your palms a little sweaty.
If you roll this thing, I'm losing my right arm right now.
Okay. Wow.
I like how I'm grasping onto the dashboard. I don't
Grab onto that.
They're definitely telling you to go right.
Okay.
Yeah, wait, now.
Okay. Whoa, Jesus.
Can you even tell which way your wheel's pointing right now?
Ooh. I've got the wheel turned all the way.
I'm turning?
It's turned all the way right now.
I just don't want to kill this old dude if we run over him.
There we go. Okay. All right. All right, straight ahead.
How's your life insurance, man? How's your life insurance?
Oh, back drivers don't need life insurance. Go back, driver a little bit. There you go.
Oh, there's the hitch dragging again. Oh, God. Oh, my God, that was scary. You were nervous.
Hell yeah, I was nervous. We should have watched our approach and departure angle. Right now we're at 23 degrees. Oh, that's your steering angle.
Yes.
Never mind. Hold on. Yeah, go to the. Yeah, that had to have been at least 30 degrees. That's ridiculous.
That was pretty scary. Oh yeah, it's a Jeep thing.
I'm not sure Telluride would have done this.
Nope. Try putting your Ridgeline or Pilot through this,
Whatever,
or Passport.
Fine. It was fine.
All right.
Fine.
Is it gonna fit through there? I hope so.
Yes, we have a fatter one than all the rest of them. Ones. You're fine on the right.
Okay. Wow. So now we've gone back into 4 high, and they told me to push the Off-Road Plus button, which essentially puts it into like a sand mode when it's in 4 high. It allows the stability control to not intervene as much. It allows the throttle and the transmission programming to favor, I guess, slippery, higher speed conditions. Have a little fun here. It would turn. There we go. Oh yeah, we're kicking up some mud now. Oh shit.
Can you get the ass end of the truck forward?
All right, there, it's stabilized, it's fine. It definitely likes to let the back step out when it's in that Off-Road Plus mode.
Ooh, this is really...
Yeah, this is really deep right here, but the wheel is all the way locked right now. Wow. I mean, this thing's making it look so easy. All right, so obviously this thing can go off-roading. Even though it's a little bit bigger, it's still very much capable. But let's get this thing on the road, since I imagine a lot of owners are probably going to be driving this thing on the road as well. So once you get the Gladiator on the road, this thing actually drives incredibly well. As you heard, that 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 really screams. I really enjoyed the engine in the Wrangler 2-door that I had a year and a half ago. And honestly, I really like it in this Gladiator. Even though this vehicle weighs about 350 pounds heavier, it still will move the truck out pretty well. It actually sounds better, has a quicker shifting 8-speed transmission. It just feels more energetic versus the powertrain in the Tacoma that I last drove. This is kind of comparable to what GM puts in there, or in the Canyon and the Colorado, but the 8-speed in this thing, like, put your foot down, it's just so quick to downshift, and the engine literally screams and pulls all the way to like 6,500 RPM, so it'll really surprise you in terms of the acceleration. So this thing rides and accelerates very well. Now, the ride quality in a truck is always something that, a lot of people complain about, especially if it's unloaded, and the Gladiator's ride quality is surprisingly good. Remember, this is borrowing the suspension from the Ram 1500, so you have the coil spring rear suspension. It's still a solid axle, but even though the vehicle is unloaded, I'm on this, back road here, it rides really comfortably. The only thing I am noticing is there's a fair amount of wind noise. Even though this Overland model has the hardtop, you do hear the wind noise incessantly. It's kind of like excessively loud. It's definitely louder than a lot of the competition, but it's not unbearably loud. Now, the steering in this truck is not super great on the road. It's electric, it's very numb, it's very loose. You can literally do this. The truck doesn't even change directions, but that was kind of very helpful, as you guys saw on the off-road course. You can kind of see why. I mean, this is definitely the more road-oriented model, so I'm glad I'm in the Overland model or trim level to show you guys, because this has those street tires for a reason, because there's less tire rumble noise, which you're going to hear of more in the Overland version, or I'm sorry, in the Rubicon version versus this Overland. Now, the seats, I found them to be comfortable as well, and the visibility in this truck is also pretty comparable to a Wrangler. Honestly, it feels like I'm driving a Wrangler, especially just sitting from here. You've got the same mirrors, the same kind of hood. The VR of the back is definitely different because of the rear windows that are typical with a truck. Now, I'm going to come to a stop here really quick. I'm going to floor the accelerator.
You got someone coming?
And it's in rear drive right now. God, that sounds good. I mean, it's not fast. 0 to 60 times feel like around 8 seconds, 8.5 seconds, something like that. It's not fast, but it's got a responsive transmission. It's got a really energetic engine that likes to rev. It sounds good. So I would actually say that this is probably the best powertrain in the mid-size truck segment, although I haven't driven the new Ranger with its 2.3 EcoBoost and 10-speed auto. But this, if you're looking for a naturally aspirated V6, I like the sound of it. I like the feel. And it's surprisingly easy to daily drive. Now, in terms of fuel economy, I actually was able to test out the fuel economy a little bit because we had to drive about an hour and a half away from the hotel to get to this area. It was getting around 16 miles to the gallon in town, and on the highway it did about 21 miles to the gallon. So not horrible in terms of the fuel economy. I think Jeep has done a good job with tuning this thing to be comfortable enough out on the road. You just have a little bit more road noise or wind noise, but it's got good steering, good ride quality, good comfort in this thing. It's got adaptive cruise control, but no lane keep assist, which the adaptive cruise comes to a full stop, so it works well. It has the automatic braking, but I think a lot of people are going to find lots of like with this truck. It's going to be finding its way into a lot of buyers' shortlist. So when I first saw the Gladiator in LA back in November, I thought it was a pretty cool truck, very unique, but it didn't really blow me away at first glance when I did that first look video. Now, after spending the day driving this thing out on the roads and on that off-road trail, you really have to experience the Gladiator, just like the Wrangler out in the real world, to really start to appreciate what Jeep has designed here. It's truly a unique truck. It has an interior that has the most space in the rear seat in the segment, which is great. It's got the best off-road capability. It's definitely got a unique look to it. I haven't really completely warmed up to the rear quarter angle view of this vehicle. As you can see, I've switched over to this Overland trim, which looks very pedestrian with these street tires on it. So I imagine a lot of owners who buy the Overland trim or the Sport trim are going to swap those out with some all-terrain tires that the Rubicon model gives you. But overall, what Jeep has designed here is the only convertible pickup truck in this segment. You can take your pick between this hardtop or the soft top, which is definitely nice. The bed is surprisingly useful, even though this is only a 5-foot bed. Love the fact that Jeep included a lot of modern tech features. And if you guys plan to actually do some tailgating, this will actually hold up to 1,800 pounds. The actual payload of the bed is only 1,600 pounds, which is actually the best in the segment. It's weird how this that I'm sitting on actually holds more weight, but overall, Jeep has designed a very cool truck that I think a lot of owners who never thought they would want a truck but have always wanted a Wrangler are going to be really happy with when they actually drive on these things. So with all that said, what's it going to cost to put a Gladiator in your driveway if you guys want one of these trucks? Well, surprisingly, it's only $2,000 more expensive than a comparable Wrangler Unlimited. The Wrangler Unlimited starts at $31,545, so this Sport version will start at $33,545. From there on, you can add the Sport S, which gives you power windows. This is one of the few trucks that has manual windows in the segment. That's like another couple $1,000s more. The Overland model that I'm sitting in here starts at $40,545. Add another $3,000 if you guys want the Rubicon model, which is actually the most expensive. So you're going to be spending around $45,000 for a Rubicon because you have to add $1,500 for the destination charge. Now keep in mind, the prices that I just quoted you are for a 6-speed manual. The 8-speed automatic is going to run you another $2,000. And that's really where the problem is with the Gladiator. Just like the Wrangler, this is an expensive vehicle when you start adding in some options. For example, the full leather interior that this one had is an extra. The LED headlights are extra. The bed liner is extra. The interior has the Uconnect infotainment system that's extra. It has driver assistance tech, like the adaptive cruise control, which is extra. I don't have a Moroni for this one, but I'm imagining this is going to be around $55,000. Probably closer to 60 grand if you guys want a Rubicon. And Jeep is going to be offering on April 4th at 12:01 a.m. Basically, the order books are opening up for a limited production launch edition model, which will basically be the Rubicon. Jeep says they're only building about 1,490 of those vehicles, and it'll start at, or it'll be priced at $60,845 plus that $1,500 destination, which is, I know, a stupid amount of money for a truck. It's roughly going to make this thing about $10,000 to $15,000 more expensive than something like a Tacoma TRD Pro, which I'm not entirely sure it's going to be worth that money. But I have to say, with the unique capabilities of this truck, the fact that it's convertible with all the premium features from the way it drives out on the road, Jeep has built a truly unique vehicle, and I think they're going to be selling out every single one of these despite its high price tag. But I hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on this 2020 Jeep Gladiator. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video. Across the globe. Whether you're an enthusiast, sorry. Oh, where's my sunglasses? Let me put those on. All right, put them in here. Yes.
You good? B-roll. Can't see LED headlights if there's mud all over them. Oh, I keep walking in cow shit.
See, aren't you glad you're wearing those booties? Otherwise, you'd be stepping in shit. You didn't hear that right? I burped.
Fucker, come on. Rope back, Sylveon. Come on, Sylveon.
Oh, wait, yes. Oh, there is a little latch down here that I always have trouble finding in Wranglers. I'm sorry. Where the is it? Wait. Oh, that's right. I have to go to the side. All right, let's do that again.